he gets a reputation for not being that good, but I think he can play really nice games. So
Hmm.
um, wouldn't be too surprised to see this trend continue and to see him take this versus Dion Max. But Dion Max also kind of proving himself worthy. He was looking good at moments during that game. When we had that backwards and forwards with the Dragoons, I felt like he was getting a little bit too far ahead of himself. But he did manage to do some good stuff nonetheless.
Indeed, indeed, and it will be his choice of map for the next map. So he says equal sign. Ah, FS. Wait, weren't we just on FS? Is this allowed? You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say this is allowed. I
You've
have
just promoted yourself to referee. Let's do it.
indeed. I declare that Fighting Spirit twice in a row is allowed because it is, of course, the best map ever made.
Which isn't subjective, apparently.
It's not. That is an objective statement. I have declared it so.
I get the Zerg slot again.
Yes, you do, Elegant. Yes, you do. This is your lot in life. See, this is what happens when you aren't the creator. The creator of the game. The creator of Fighting Spirit.
Yeah, I need to go God mode and become the creator. I like this as well. I like having obs mode in game. It's really kind of handy. I can see supplies and mineral counts and all that kind of fun stuff.
Ah, but you see, without obs mode, I get to pretend I'm OGN. Ah.
I see that.
See?
I see
OGN, they had nothing, man. They were hard. They were hardcore mode, you know. They were casting on hard.
that. They were. Yeah, that's actually true. They were just so godlike. They didn't need any of that rubbish.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm gonna turn it off.
Dude, I bet the Korean casters were so ghosted they could like mentally count every single unit and add up all the supply counts and like they knew the exact supply.
Yeah.
I bet they could do that. Dude, Artosis said he could like apparently he said if you showed him just the mini map and told him the time that the game was at, like whether it was 15 minutes in or 20 minutes in, he could tell you the supplies of both players in the game just from looking at the mini map and and knowing the time.
We'll never get.
I don't know if that was true, but he said he could do that at one point.
Yeah. Well, I wish we could test that. Because that's pretty cool. Do you reckon that's something he honed, or whether that just came from millions of hours of practice?
I think it's just an experience thing, just like having seen literally every single possible, or not every single possible, but seen
So
thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of games worth of combinations, and just instinctively having a feel for that. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be exactly correct, but just in the ballpark, within 20 supply, which is already pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, we do have a
Wait,
2
why? Is this 12 next? No! Don't do it, Must! I'm sorry, I have led you astray. And he's gonna get first scouted. No, don't, no, I was kidding, it's a bad build. 12 next is not a good build, no!
What are the chances of this happening? What are the chances of this happening? This is bad.
This is all my fault, Must. I'm so sorry I've led you astray. This is all my fault.
Oh god.
no.
So this isn't quite an auto loss.
It's not. I think this is a 10-12 gate, right? So it's not.
Yeah.
It's technically not an auto loss. If he's really good. Okay, so here's the dealio. So because of the travel distance, even though these gateways are finished first, like if this was a 10-12 gate, which I actually think it was faster, I think this was like a 10-10 or something, because this second gateway is finished too quickly. But basically, the first zealot should get to this main by the time Must's first zealot comes out. So you can actually defend the first zealot with a zealot in your mineral line. Except getting mana pylon is unacceptable because then it almost becomes an auto loss. Yeah, you have to be very careful. If you're 12 nexing, you app and he 2 gates, you have to block the mana pylons. You just cannot let one go down, otherwise you're in huge trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, he's building buildings in the main. And by
he?
he, I mean DNMax is building in Must's main. He's not building in his own main.
I was about to say that's not so remarkable.
I know, right? It's like, oh, he's building buildings in his main. What's wrong with that? Oh, but you see, the first zealot is out in time. You see what I mean? So even though it's a 12 next and the other guy went gate first, it doesn't matter. The zealot is still in time.
But that third gateway could be decisive. I think that somehow DMAX's zealot attacks faster than Must's. I literally don't know how that happened, because I tell you what, I was watching that and Must's zealot started attacking first and ended up behind.
That's pretty crazy. He's got an attack speed buff somehow. He's a Korean zealot.
Yeah, yeah. And meanwhile, the that remaining zealot making a little bit of a mess in the probe line of Must. We do have a shield battery. Just gets up, makes itself useful straight away, and Must should be able to hold with a level zealot count. But oh no, one of his zealots is on tragically low health. He needs to get some reinforcements out there right away. He's got probes on the way. He has dealt with the zealot in his main. The shield battery's gone down though. He can probably do with remaking that. But there's 2 gateways coming in the back of Must's main now. And unless he sees that, it's basically going to be game over for him because he's just going to be defending his front door and nothing else.
Yeah, this is bad news bears. I'm not sure what he can do anymore. Like, with these zealots coming out in the main, there's... Like, he's not even building a forge or anything. He's just relying on the 2 gateways, and 2 gates against 4 is just not going to work.
It's just not, is it, Sayle? That's the kind of knowledge you get.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's really bad times. So, although Must... It kind of worked out fine for him up until now, but DR Max has just really gone all in on this because yeah, like I said, it's not an auto loss. You can see how Must was able to hold this, relatively comfortably.
You know what's quite funny? I don't want to spoil too much, but I did this exact thing in Gem League. I built 2 gates in the other guy's main.
Oh really?
I like just did this today, and I'm like watching this. I'm like, wait, what? This just happened.
Wants to be more like you.
I know, right? This is like me in a nutshell. This is like the story of my Protoss, 12 necks, and building stuff in the other guy's main. Like, both of these guys are exemplifying like the only thing I know how to do. Anyway, Must trying to build cannons in his main keeps getting denied, so
yeah, which is quite bad. Cannons are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. Meanwhile, some more coming in the front as well. Must, though, doing a manly job of defending. Look at this. He pulls the probes. That is exemplary probe pull right there. And he's able to fend off the zealots at the front and in his main just about. If he can get a cannon up in his main, then he'll be looking a lot better than he should be. He's just defending like crazy at the front right now. It looks like that's been achieved. And he's just doing his best to fight with probes in the main, but it might just not be enough. Nice drilling though. DRMax getting caught in between the gas and the minerals, which is a bad place to be, but it looks like finally the critical mass has been achieved for DRMax, and he's going to be able to take the main base down. Must going to have to commit all his units back to try and defend in his own main base, and he might just be able to do so, but he's lost so many probes in the process, and he's probably going to lose his natural now as well.
Wow, I thought this game would have been over already. I can't believe Must has been able to defend so long. Like, this, as you say, his pro micro has been pretty crazy, but it looks like he's going to have to forfeit his natural here. There's no way he can defend that. Just going to have to turtle up on his main, I think. Not much else he can do.
That's better than it could be at this point.
Yeah.
He could very well be completely dead right now. I think the photon cannon, is a good idea. It's just going to have that little bit more defensive clout. But even so, it might still not be enough. Oh my goodness, this is a big break coming from DRMax. Will it be enough? It looks like it. Must is in some real trouble. He's going to have to try and fall back. That photon cannon is not going to be in time.
Yeah, this is actually too many zealots. Even if the cannon finishes, I think it might be... Oh no! They closed with the cannon. The probes didn't block. That's going to be insta-GG.
GG.
And GG from Must. DRMax evens up the series 1-1. Pulling out the 2 gates against the unfortunate 12 necks. Must. That's my bad.
Not a bad fight though. It didn't end as I expected it might at some point. Must really microing nicely. He was able to keep on top of both bases to quite an impressive extent, but eventually DRMax's numbers were just too much.
Whoa, Must just picked Outsider.
Huh?
What? That's like the first time I've ever seen a player in a tournament actually want to play Outsider. So
that means he has a specific build, right?
Well, I guess you can go 12 necks more safely.
Yeah.
You just build it in the bag. It's like, oh, well.
I didn't even think of that.
Right? Hey, see, that's my first thought whenever I see a new map is, can I 12 necks in PvP on this map?
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, no. Neither of us got Protoss this time. I'm Terran.
Oh. And I was... What?
Well...